Hi everyone, this is Teacher Justina and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, then do not forget to subscribe, like and share, and do comment below for more video updates. Our video for today is all about word problems involving conic figures. Okay, so let us explore. Okay, so let us determine the equation of the conic section in general form uh, through the given problems. Okay, but remember there are some items that may have more than one answer. Okay, so let us answer this one by one. Okay, so question number one. A circle has its center at the focus of x squared minus 4y minus 8 is equal to 0. And it passes through 5, 1. So by this problem, we can only find the center of the circle if we are done finding the focus of the given equation, which is a parabola. Okay, so we have the parabola, which is x squared is equal to 4y plus 8 because we're able to transpose the negative 4y and the negative 8 to the right. Okay, and then next, we are going to identify as to find out how to find the number of units from the vertex going to the focus. Okay, for that, our vertex is 0, negative 2. So from this, and then for that, the focus is 1/4 of 4. So the 1/4 of 4 is equal to 1. And that means we are going to plot the 0, negative 2 as our vertex. And then since our focus is 1 unit from the vertex, and remember that our parabola is concaving or opening up because the y is on the right and it uh, gives us a positive 4, so it goes up. So that means 1 unit from the vertex, there is our focus, and it is 0, negative 1. And remember that the center of our circle depends upon the focus of our parabola. So therefore, we have already the focus 0, negative 1. So are we now getting at the same time the center is 0, negative 1. So how to determine the equation of the circle if the center is 0, negative 1? So therefore, and it passes through 5, 1. So where is 5, 1? So this is 5, 1. So meaning our circle is its center is being described by 0, negative 1, and then it passes through the 5, 1.51. So therefore, that means that our radius will be because a circle has its equation x squared plus y squared is equal to r squared. But since our center is 0, negative 1, thus we are going to use the distance formula because the radius is slantingly drawn. So the formula to be used is the point AB, or the distance from A to B, is equal to the square root of x squared minus x sub 1, I'm sorry, x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared. Thus, how to find it or substitute according to the given, which is the 0.51 and the 0, negative 1. So therefore, our r is 5.39 into decimal places. So for that, we have already our radius, we have already our center. So this time we are now ready getting the center, I'm sorry, the equation of our circle. So therefore, to the formula, we have 0 is our x coordinate of the center of our circle. So we have x squared plus since the -1 is the y coordinate of the center, so we have the y plus 1 squared is equal to 5.39 squared. So this is already the equation of the circle. And in general form, we can write it in this way. X squared plus y squared plus 2y plus 1 minus 5.39 squared will gives us 29.05 and will be transposed to the left. Therefore, our general form will be x squared plus y squared plus 2y plus 1 minus 25.05 is equal to 0. So we already answered the problem. Okay, question number 2. A circle has its center at the foci of x minus 1 squared over 25 minus y minus 4 squared over 144 is equal to 1, and it passes through the nearer vertex. So again, what we are trying to find is the equation of a circle. But remember, we can get the equation of the circle if we will know the center, and then we have to get it from the foci of the hyperbola, because this given equation is a hyperbola. Okay, let's proceed. Okay, so this time, the 1, 4 is the center of the hyperbola. So the hyperbola is being described, the center of it is being described by 1, 4. After that, we need to plot it 1, 4. And then next, we need to know the transverse axis because the foci of the hyperbola lies on the transverse axis. And remember that the transverse axis will be twice the square root of the denominator of our first term. So this is our first term. So twice of the square root of 25 is equal to 10. So that means our transverse axis will be horizontal because our first term is being described by the x variable. So that means when we say 10, we are going to count 5 units left and then 5 units right. And after which, it is being described that the circle is has its center, and that center is passes through the nearer vertex. So therefore, what shall we do next? We are going to, okay, therefore the entire length of the transverse axis is 10, and then let's proceed to finding the foci of the hyperbola. So the foci of the hyperbola is being described by this formula, and for that, our C, or the number of units from the center, is 13 units, and there is our foci. So therefore, from the center, we need to count 13 units going left and 13 units going right, and there are our two foci. Okay, so therefore, we have already the two foci. We have -12, 4, then we have the 14, 4. Now, we are going to find out that according to the problem, the center of our circle is, and it passes through the nearer vertex. So, our circle will be passing to the nearer vertex. So, since we have two foci, at the same time, we have two centers. And then we have two centers, meaning we have two circles. And each circle will pass through the nearer vertex. So if this will be our first center, we have to see to it that our circle will be passing through this nearer vertex. So the left circle will passing to this nearer vertex. So how to find the radius? So the radius will be 8. Okay, because this is horizontal, this is very manageable in counting the number of units. So for the first circle, we have a radius of 8, and we have the center negative 12 over 4. So therefore, substituting it according to the formula, that will be x plus 12 squared, that is coming from the negative 12, plus y minus 4, that is coming from the positive 4, is equal to, our radius is 8, so it's being squared. So expanding this x plus 12 squared and y minus 4 squared, because we will be getting the general form. So we have x squared plus 24x squared, the first term, plus twice the product of the first and the second, so 12x times 2, and then squaring 12 will be 144. The y will be squared, so y squared, and then 4 times y times 2, negative 8y, and then squaring 4, we have a 16. The square of 8 squared is 64, and it is already being transposed, so it will become negative 64. So to simplify further, we have the x squared, so according to the general formula, x squared and y squared will be the first two terms, followed by the 24x minus 8y, followed by the 144 plus 16 minus 64. So to further simplify, we have this our general form of the equation of a circle according to the first center. Okay, so next, we are going to get the circle 2, no? So the circle 2 is being described by this foci, because the foci are the center at the same time of the circle. So our circle 2 is being described by 14, 4, and our radius is still 8. Okay, so therefore, so same thing. So x minus 14 quantity squared plus y minus 4 quantity squared is equal to 8 squared. And to further expand, so we have x squared plus 28x plus 196 plus y squared minus 8y plus 16 minus 64 is equal to 0. And for that, that is already our second um, equation of the center, a second equation of the circle. And it, as it is being mentioned that there are more than one answers in some cases, so therefore we are done getting the equation of the circle in general form. Okay, let us try this last example. This time we are going to determine the equation of a parabola on its general form. So the problem is, a parabola has its vertex and foci at the vertices of the x plus 3 squared over 100 plus y minus 5 squared over 64 is equal to 1. So again, a parabola has its vertex and foci at the vertices. So meaning, it's either the vertices or the foci of this ellipse will be the vertex and the foci of the parabola. Okay, so let us try. So first thing, we need to get the center of the ellipse, because it is being mentioned that a parabola has its vertex and foci. So the vertices of the ellipse are the vertex and foci of the parabola. Okay, so we will be getting the center of the ellipse, which is negative 3 and positive 5. So plotting it, it's negative 3 and 5. And then the next one is, since we will be getting uh, the vertices of the ellipse, okay, so we will be getting the number of units, or the length of the horizontal major axis of the ellipse by multiplying 2 to the square root of the denominator of our first fraction. So our first fraction denominator is 100, and there we can determine the horizontal major axis length. So it is horizontal because our first variable there is x. So 2 times the square root of 100 is 20. So therefore, that will be counting 10 units from the left and 10 units from the 10 units going left and 10 units going right. And there we have negative 13.5 and the 7.5 as the ellipse vertex 1 and the ellipse vertex 2. the next. So we are done um, having the horizontal major axis of the ellipse. So what is our next move? So that means 10 units, it's left and right. So the next there is, so a parabola has its vertex and foci at the vertices. So this time, we are going to have the equation 1 of the parabola. So the equation 1 of the parabola is taken from the vertex 7, 5. So this one, the 7, 5 is there we can get the, because a parabola has its vertex and foci at the vertices. So therefore, if this will be our vertex, this will be our foci. Okay? So we are going to remember that the parabola equation, if the y is being squared, so it will be like this: y minus k squared is equal to the constant, then x minus 8. Okay, so therefore, our k there is 5, so it will be y minus 5 squared is equal to negative 4 times 20. Okay, why we have a negative 4? Okay, why we have a negative 4? Because in getting the constant of a parabola to the linear term, we should have to multiply a 4, because we know that the focus of the hyperbola is always uh, constant divided by 4. But this time, since we will be getting the equation, we should have to multiply a 4 to the number of units for the entire length of our major axis, which is 20. So what is negative 4 times 20? It will gives us negative 80. Okay, and then x minus 7, because our x coordinate of our vertex 1 is positive 7. So it will be now x minus 7. And for that, our general form of our parabola equation will be described by y squared minus 10y plus 25 is equal to negative 80x plus 560. Okay, but, okay, so in general form, we should have to have the y squared minus 10y plus 80x plus 25 minus 560 is equal to 0. And to further simplify, we have the negative 535 as the result of positive 25 minus 560. Okay, so therefore, we are now considering that our vertex 1 and our focus in relation to our vertex 1, because it is being described, a parabola has its vertex and foci at the vertices. So they are the vertices of our ellipse. So therefore, if we consider this as our vertex 1, this will be our focus. Okay, and then let's proceed. Now, since we were able to get the equation of the first parabola by using vertex 1 as our vertex and vertex 2 of our ellipse is our foci. This time, we will be getting the second equation using our vertex 2. And if this will be our vertex 2, remember that this will be our foci. Vertex and then foci. Let's proceed. Okay, so equation 2 is taken from vertex 2. Okay, so our vertex 2 is being described by negative 13 and 5. So therefore, this time we have a y minus 5. So since the 5 there is positive, and then is equal to y, we still have a y which is being squared, because our axis is horizontal. Our major axis is horizontal. And why this is a 4? Because a 4 is a multiplier to the number of units from the vertex to the focus. So therefore, again, this is our vertex 2, or uh, this is our vertex, and we have 20 units going to the focus. So we have 20 units. And then x plus 13 coming from negative 13. Thus, to simplify further, we have y minus 5 squared is equal to positive 80 times x plus 13. And that will be expanding the y minus 5 squared. Okay, is equal to 80x plus 1040. And that will be the final general form of the second equation of the parabola. Okay, guys, thank you for watching, and I hope you will have your comment below. And please do not forget to subscribe, do comment, and then hit the notification bell for more video updates. This has been Teacher Justina, and thank you for watching. That in all things, God may be glorified.